Deserts are the last places we expect to find water, let alone entire oceans. They're landscapes defined by absence. No rain, no rivers, no lakes, no life. Or so it seems. But every few decades, something extraordinary happens in one of Earth's driest places. A barren stretch of desert, cracked and lifeless for generations, suddenly transforms into a vast, shimmering sea almost overnight. It's a transformation so extreme, so sudden, and so improbable that early explorers called it a miracle. Today, scientists call it one of the planet's rarest natural events, and a reminder that deserts are far more alive than we think. The story begins in a desert where rainfall is nearly non-existent. The ground is so dry it fractures into tiles. Temperatures soar high enough to fry equipment. The air is so barren that plants struggle to survive for even a few weeks. Yet once in a generation, this desert floods with waters deep enough to sail a boat across. How? Not from rain, not from storms, not from melted snow. The sea comes from below, from ancient rivers sleeping beneath the sand, waiting for the perfect moment to awaken. Far beneath many of the world's great deserts lies a hidden network of fossil aquifers, ancient water reservoirs formed thousands or even millions of years ago. These underground rivers are not fed by modern rainfall. They are relics from a wetter earth, preserved beneath layers of rock. Over centuries, shifting tectonic plates, pressure changes, and rare climatic events can crack parts of the bedrock, suddenly releasing huge quantities of water upward. When that happens, the desert floor behaves like a sponge finally being squeezed. Thin fractures open, hidden springs erupt, and water that has been trapped since the last ice age surges to the surface. Within hours, the landscape transforms. What was once dust becomes waves. What was once silence becomes the roar of flowing water. And what was once a dead plain becomes a living ocean. Yet this ocean is not permanent. It arrives suddenly and disappears just as fast. Once the underground pressure equalizes, the water stops flowing. Under the desert sun, evaporation happens at unbelievable speed. A giant lake can lose meters of depth per day. Within a week, the sea begins to shrink. Within a month, it may vanish entirely, leaving behind only a thin crust of salt and a memory of something that should never have existed. But the impact of this brief ocean is enormous. To the untrained eye, the desert looks dead. But, hidden beneath the sand are seeds, spores, eggs and insects in suspended animation, just waiting for water. Some have lain dormant for decades, others perhaps even longer. When the sea appears, life awakens explosively. Dormant fish eggs, carried long ago by migratory birds, hatch in the sudden waters. Brine shrimp bloom by the millions. Amphibians, which seal themselves underground in mud cocoons, rehydrate and emerge. Birds detect the water from miles away and swarm the region in huge flocks, feeding and nesting in places that were desert only yesterday. For a brief moment, the desert becomes one of the most biologically active regions on Earth. And then, just as quickly, the cycle resets. As the sea evaporates, fish perish. Shrimp lay eggs that dry into dust-like specks, waiting for the next flood. Plants drop seeds built to survive decades of desiccation. Amphibians burrow underground once more. Nature returns to silence, but now with the memory of life stored beneath the surface, just waiting for the next impossible transformation. Events like this are more than curiosities. They are glimpses into Earth's forgotten past. Many of today's deserts were once vast lakes, green savannas, or flowing river basins. When water temporarily returns, the land reveals secrets. Fossil shorelines, ancient river deltas, buried tree roots, and long-lost species whose remains emerge at the edge of the temporary sea. Scientists use these events to reconstruct what the world looked like thousands of years ago, before climate cycles shifted, continents drifted, and entire ecosystems dried into deserts. Every sudden sea offers another puzzle piece. But this phenomenon is also a warning. As the climate warms, extreme rainfall events and rare pressure shifts are becoming more frequent. Some deserts may see more sudden floods, others may see their ancient groundwater depleted through overuse, ending the cycle forever. If the underground rivers run dry, either naturally or through human extraction, the desert seas will never return. The organisms that depend on these rare events could disappear. Fossil water that took thousands of years to accumulate could be lost permanently. And the deserts themselves could change in ways no one yet understands. For now, however, the phenomenon remains, a reminder that Earth still holds mysteries capable of stunning us. The next time a hidden aquifer fractures and a forgotten river rushes upward, the transformation will happen fast, long before satellites can capture it, long before scientists arrive, long before we even know it's begun. In a single night, a dead desert will breathe again. In a single week, it will teem with life. And in a single month, it will vanish back into silence. But the ocean beneath the sand will remain, waiting for its next chance to rise, and to remind us that even the driest places on Earth still carry the memory of water.